Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Thoughts of the Young Icon with me, Sam. Today, I want to share a thought that I've had for the last couple of days. It's a verse in the Bible that has been provoking my mind. It's found in Romans 12, verses 18. I'm not very good with memorizing, but basically, to paraphrase, it talks about how where it is within our power, we should live in a peaceful manner with those around us. And this is something that has been on my mind because I've found myself many times in conflicts with people, and I've tried to figure out why I found myself in those conflicts, who was to blame, and how do we fix this. There was a time where I once got into a super heated argument with my brother, who I love very much, but we got into a very heated argument. And as after the argument, we went our separate ways, and it was funny because at that point, me and my brother were actually staying together. We had moved out of our parents' house at the same time, and we were sharing an apartment. So after this heated argument, we found ourselves in a situation where we were failing to live in the same space. And so this verse has come to mind because I realize that many of the times in life that we find ourselves in situations where we are in a real rut, we are in a real conflict, a situation where something needs to give. Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves in a place where enmity has actually put its roots in our lives. Now, in the instance with my brother, we ended up sitting down and having a discussion, a candid discussion, and we expressed our emotions. We expressed our feelings about what was said and how we went about the matter. And at the end of it, we realized that it was best that perhaps we don't stay in the same place, given the point in our lives that we were at. And it might seem like it was a hard thing to do or it was the wrong thing to do, but ultimately, my brother and I enjoy a very good relationship. So, what lessons can I give to you as someone who is watching? Well, firstly, if you find yourself in a situation where conflict has arisen, I want you to be the one to go and address this conflict. You need to, like we say in Africa, you need to man up. You need to be the man. You need to go and you need to go and talk to the person that you have wronged. And sometimes it can even be the person who has wronged you. You go and you have a candid conversation. You let them know what they did wrong. Do not assume that someone knows when you've wronged them or when they've wronged you. In fact, the latter is actually something which many people often overlook. If someone wrongs you, many times they don't know. So, in order to live peacefully with everyone, it is up to you to take initiative, for you to go and have candid and tough conversations. And these can be very tough conversations, they can be emotional conversations. And I've noticed in my personal observation that this is something which men are a bit better at than women. Women have a tendency to sort of beat around the bush and live in passive aggressiveness and then ultimately blow up. Now, I know very many men who also live in passive aggressiveness and then at some point blow up. But that's not the way that you should live. Now, I've talked about a brother to brother relationship. This can also apply in not only family relationships, but also social relationships and also work relationships. It's important when you feel that someone has wronged you, or when you know in your heart that you've wronged someone, it's always important to have a conversation, be open minded, address those tough things. And at the end of the day, you might realize that the best situation for you is perhaps not to be in the same place or perhaps not to engage frequently. You may realize that you are not, sometimes with relationships, you may realize that it's time to break up. But at the end of the day, it's better for you to break up amicably than to live together in hostility. So that's just a thought that I had. You know, sometimes we read Bible verses and all we think about with regards to Bible verses is piety. We think about, how this made me feel, or what I believe Bible verses, what I believe the Word of God should really do for us is for it to change us, for it to change our perspective, and for it to cause us to act in a different way. So, where it is within your power, make sure that you live in agreement with everyone. And sometimes it may be out of your control, but always make sure to be the one who makes that effort, who steps up to ensure that there's peace and harmony wherever you find yourself. If you've watched this far, I'd like you to hit that like button. I'd like you to hit subscribe. And I want you, and as always, remember, tell a friend to tell a friend about Thoughts of the Young Icon. Thank you very much.